Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Music of the Week. I was hoping to try and get this one done yesterday, but my full backtracking episode of System of a Down took longer than usual to edit, so I posted it on Tuesday night rather than the Tuesday day. So I just didn't get any videos done yesterday because, I just finished streaming and then I edited the video and I didn't want to do any more work for a day. So here's the Music of the Week episode and we've got 5 to get through. Let's just go. And for this episode, we do start off quite strong with Architects' new album, For Those That Wish to Exist. Now, Architects have been pretty fucking great for a long time. Almost about since the time that they first started, and this is their first album to really try and push the boundaries again since, I think, The Here and Now. But whereas The Here and Now got a lot of it sort of wrong, For Those That Wish to Exist got it very fucking right. I'm giving it an A+, top 10 worthy. I mean, yeah, it's Architects. I think they've just reached a point where they can do whatever they like and it'll be fine, and this is them doing whatever they want. It's much more layered, it's got a lot of, flow, it's very cohesive. It's long, yeah, but, it fills out its length really well. It's got some really great guest moments. Winston McCall on an Architect song is a fucking treat for me personally. And the album's full of absolute bangers, as you would expect, with the band doing some of the best work of their career, as they continue to do. Still some very interesting lyrical themes that they've always done. Done a bit differently and handled really fucking well. So, yeah, honestly spin this one. It's really, really good. I wish I could say the same about this next one, though. Laced and Lust with First Bite. Now, as people know, I love me Aussies. I love me Aussie bands. I always have. And I still always will. There is the album I'm about to review and grade, as I'm talking about now, and there's one in the next episode, which I also didn't see so fondly. But you'll see that when we come to it. However, Lace and Lust, First Bite, the last bite for me, E+. Terrible. It's a glam rock album, and I get it's sort of supposed to be stereotypical, but did we really have to take it back to the fucking 70s? All the way back there. I mean, yeah, Steel Panther are doing that, but they're keeping it interesting by doing a really great parody of the genre. Lace and Lust are actually taking it seriously, and it doesn't fucking work. It's just terrible lyrics, boring riffs. There is a couple of decent solos, I will admit, which is about the only thing that saves it from getting a lower grade or even in the F category, but God, it's produced so terribly, and it's so fucking sluggish. It is such a boring album to listen to. Once again, if I bothered doing worst of albums, this would be on the worst list. This is terrible, and you should not listen to it, so I'm going to move on to the next one. Luckily, from this point onwards, and all the other albums to follow, well, the last, 2 after this one, it's all good stuff, and this one is NoFX with their new album titled Single Album, because their album titles are actually pretty great. I mean, they've got things like Punk in Drublic, which is a classic first-ditch effort, self-entitled, all great album names from a really great punk band. Yeah, this gets an A. It's about what you would expect from NoFX, with Fat Mike being amazing and weird. He's always been one of the weirder dudes in punk rock and a bit more controversial than a lot of people are comfortable with, but I don't really care. I'm able to, take that away. I'm able to sort of separate that from what we get in the content of the album, and what we get is really good. There's, a darker edge, as you would expect to NoFX, but, even darker than usual. It sounds more mature, and they sound like they've kept up with the times, but musically it's still, very, very fast-paced and punchy, and it's packed full of great riffs, and even Avenged Sevenfold appear on one of the songs, which is it's called Linoleum, which is a spin on Linoleum, one of NoFX's best-known songs. You'll have to listen to it to fully grasp the concept of it, but Synesthecates does fucking great work on the guitar, as he always does, because he's Synesthecates and he's awesome. But yes, NoFX single album, again, spin this one, is good shit. Next is Scarlord with Dune 2. Now, this one actually came a couple of weeks before I started listening to the albums for the week for this episode, but I saved it for this episode because I wanted to add a bit more. It's a very interesting trap metal. A friend of mine named Grace, who I've mentioned a lot before in the videos because he's cool, did recommend this one to me, and I actually quite dug it. I'm giving it a B+. I would give it higher, but the album is quite long, and the songs themselves are not super long. They're very compacted and quite short, and there's 20 odd songs or something. It is quite a long album, but it's full of short songs. But still, Scarlord's central performance is great. He has really good lyrical content, about his mental health and about his anxiety and the fact that he's had to deal with violence because he's, he grew up in sort of the Midlands. I think he's sort of around from where I'm from. So, yeah, and also the beats are really good. There's some actually stonking guitar riffs on this thing. Yeah, a B plus. I don't know. I mean, the dude's output is crazy though, so don't expect a backtracking episode from him, from me about him anytime soon. But yeah, you should scout this album out if you can find the time for it. It is going to be a bit of a set, but it's worth it. And finally, for this episode, we have Wenches with Effin' Gnarly. Now, this is a debut, and Wenches are another sort of like newish band that happen to be scrounged up from the ashes of other bands who joined to form this one. And this is their debut, and it's a really strong case for them. A really good hard rock, punk rock thing. I'm giving it a B. It's basically the sort of like sleazy stuff that Laced in Lust tried, but actually, done well without any sense of irony or the dumb lyrics. So, yeah, actually really enjoyed this though. I think it's a really good debut for them, and it's always interesting when bands who form from other bands who aren't around anymore can actually coagulate and actually put out something really, really good. So, yeah, and this is a really good album. It does fall apart in some places. I mean, the lyrics on this one are not the best, but they're still pretty decent. There's some good riffs and some solid, like, hardcore punk style screaming to it. So, if you're looking for this particular style of hard rock album, then this is a really good place to start, and it's a really good place for Wenches to begin their career, as well as a good place for me to end the video. So that will about do it for this episode of Music of the Week. That's another one in the bag. Obviously, I would recommend pretty much all these albums except for the Laced in Lust one, but I would especially recommend the new Architects and NoFX albums if you want to give those a spin. I highly, highly recommend them. The next thing you'll see me for will be tomorrow night. I'm going to be doing another random gaming stream. In a couple of days, I'll try and get another episode of Music of the Week out, and then there's also possibly for the night review. I don't know what you'll see me for after those. I mean, there's going to be another PBW vs ABW stream, the Go Home stream for Reverence, which is going to be next Friday. And then also, I'm going to try, in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to try and get the Just Cause 4 review out. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. But that's for then. As for now, I want to say thank you for watching. You're awesome. Bye-bye.